Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Big CJ and welcome. Today we are going to be doing Mario Party Superstars ranked maps from worst to best, or boards, whatever you guys want to call them. Now, I've seen a lot of videos of Mario Party, and the main ones I normally see are the mini games, but I normally don't see the boards. And it's kind of weird, especially because I think the boards have a lot of effort put into them and a lot of creation into them. Now, obviously, some of the newer games are pretty bad, and yes, there is also the older games, but I decided I wanted to do the most recent game, which is Mario Party Superstars, because 1, is a really good game, 2, it is a remake, and 3, just seeing the recreation of all these maps is kind of cool. So I decided, let's do the worst to best on Mario Party Superstars. I also did this too because I've been playing a lot of Mario Party Superstars with my friends. It's been very fun. One of them cheats all the time. He hacks. He's like a well-known hacker. All 5 boards, that includes Yoshi's Tropical Island, Spaceland, Peach's Birthday Cake, Woody Woods, and Heartland. Those 5. Nothing else, no other older maps, none of the original maps, it's specifically Mario Party Superstar maps. Before we get started, if you guys haven't already, and you guys do really like these videos, first off, comment down below, let me know what kind of big videos of rankings, or maybe whatever you guys want to see. Also, if you haven't already, and you do appreciate the channel, I would consider subscribing. Now, obviously, you don't have to, but if you do, I would very much appreciate it. You get a notification of more of these videos that are coming up. Make it easier for you guys. So yeah, let's get started with the ranking. Alright guys, my last place map is going to be Peach's Birthday Cake. Now, Peach's Birthday Cake out of the 5 to me is by far the weakest. Now, this is a Mario Party 1 map. The Mario Party 1 maps actually have a lot less spaces than some of the other maps. The total spaces for Peach's Birthday Cake is actually 53, which is pretty low. Some of them are up more digit than Peach's Birthday Cake, so 53 is incredibly low. Now, my problem with this map is how small it is and how much there is to do. Now, the music is pretty nice, don't get me wrong. The item shop isn't bad itself. It's alright for Mario Party 1. For the first half, there's Mushroom, Curse Dice, Double Dice, Warp Block, and Custom Dice Block, which is alright. It's pretty basic itself. The second half, the only difference really is the Triple Dice. Now, there isn't a lot, but my main problem with Peach's Birthday Cake is there is only one shop, and the star movements don't actually move. So the star actually stays in the exact same place that it always stays in, and I mean, in some ways it could be alright. Now, you start around the cake, you go around the cake. Now, there is one of the board events that happen, which is the Piranha Plants. You can kind of plant one if you want, and you either have the option of stealing coins or stealing the stars. Now, I find this part very unique. My only thing that I realized though is it is actually kind of easy to avoid if you have items. You just kind of need items, and it's very easy to go around. There's only 2 spaces that they block, and in some ways it can be very difficult to get by them, but by the time that people have enough time to buy star versions, which cost 30 coins, people normally have items by now. So the chances of getting someone are much less likely, and that kind of ruins the feature of it. Now, the other section, which is the other 2, are the Goomba flower kind of like lottery thing. This thing is kind of alright. You spend 10 coins, and the whole concept of it is basically there are 4 seeds. You pick one of the 4. Either you pick the correct one, which is the clean one, and there's 3 of them, or you pick the Bowser one. Now, my problem with this map is when you pick the Bowser one, even though you lose coins, it actually takes you faster to the star. Now, this is one of my main issues with this map, because if you have a lot of coins, you basically can buffer past the Bowser since it doesn't steal a star and just get to the star faster. Sometimes you almost can just get it automatically, so it kind of also ruins that feature of the Piranha Plants going around them, because if you do get the Bowser, you basically skip by them. And that's my major issue with this map. This map, to me, doesn't have a lot of items to change it, and even though there's no golden pipe, the board events, there's only 3 to be honest with you, and it's really just the Piranha Plants, the Goomba lottery thing, and Bowser. The star movements are only 1, and between having more skill or being luck based. Now yes, both of these every map, but certain maps have one more than the other, and in my opinion, I feel like Peach's Birthday Cake is more luck based. It's just kind of based off luck. Now you can have skill and go around it, but for example, the Goomba Flower, it's really based off luck. You just have to get lucky and just get around it. Now there is skill, I will say, I'm not going to say there isn't any skill, but there's also luck based off going around the piranha plants. If you don't have any item, you're basically just hoping to not hit one. So for that reason, I'm actually going to put this one last place. I feel like this one is the weakest between the 5. And it is a Mario Party 1 map, so it kind of makes sense. So this one is going to be sticking at number 5. Alrighty guys, now coming at number 4 is going to be Spaceland from Mario Party 2. Spaceland from Mario Party 2 itself is definitely a Mario Party 2 map. It's a decent map, but I feel like out of all the maps they could have picked from Mario Party 2, one of the two options being Spaceland, in my opinion, I feel like it's kind of weak. Spaceland to me is a really weird map because I feel like in ways some parts of the map are cool, but some of them I feel like completely ruin the factor. Now the total amount of spaces in Spaceland are actually 95, which is the normal amount for Mario Party 2 and 3 maps. So 95 is a lot more than Peach's Birthday Cake. However, we gotta put the reminder out there that Spaceland also has a lot of directions, so you might not be going or ever reach in a certain direction in some certain way. Now for this map, one of my big issues starts right away in the beginning of this map, and that is the police chase. Now you can't right away pay the Snifflets to chase the bad guys that are coming by. So if any of the 4 players hits it, you all are getting pushed back. And I kind of don't like that because it just wastes turns in the beginning of the game. Now I understand it brings up the concept, but if you just get a 1 or you get the 1 at the end of the bottom side, it kind of just ruins it because you can't turn directions right away. I don't like this part. I normally try to avoid the bottom part because of it. If someone does eventually buy the Snifflets, it does push you back even farther, which is fine, but once again, my main issue with this is the fact of having no movement at the beginning of the game. Now, there's only 5 event spaces in this entire map, but for the fact that the bottom side has 2, it's not good. I think this bottom side is really bad, and normally I try to avoid it. Now, there's obviously other problems with this map. I do like the fact of where you could pay a cop to push everyone farther back. It actually does bring some skill to this, maybe some idea. If someone is near the star, you can intentionally hit the event space so they're pushed farther back than you want them to be. So in that way, I do find it kind of cool. For the item shop, there's actually only 1 item shop, which is really weird because this map is a very big map, so therefore there'll be only 1 item shop. It's kind of crappy. Now, you do go to the center and you can pick the item shop direction, but I feel like the fact that there's only 1 item shop in this entire map is just really weird. Now, the item shop for the first half is going to be a skeleton key, cursed dice block, double dice, warp block, triple dice, and custom dice block. The second half, it kind of changes a little bit. The new features are the Chomp Call and Golden Pipe, and we get rid of some items. The custom dice block is removed. The cursed dice is also removed. Certain items are removed. This item shop isn't bad. I actually don't mind the Golden Pipe in this one. I've said it many times before. I'm not a huge fan of the Golden Pipe because it kind of just ruins the whole basis of the skill of trying to get around things in the game. Because there's only 1 item shop in Spaceland, the Golden Pipe actually isn't too bad itself. Now the boos are actually pretty good in this map. In my opinion, there's 2 boos. One is on the right side, which is kind of a pain to actually get around unless you push yourself back to the beginning of the game, but by then you're not going to have enough coins to steal a star. The other way, which I find is more efficient, is to buy a skeleton key at the item shop, that little path, to get to the center. I do like this way because 1, you get to the boo, and 2, it brings you to the center. Boos in this are actually pretty good. Now, my other thing with this is I also really like the center part. What's really cool about it is when you get to the center, you get to pick 4 directions to go. You can go down, left, up, or right. And what makes it really risky is the more times you use it has the chance of landing on the laser cannon, which is Bowser's laser cannon. Now, my thing about this though is I feel like I never see anyone on this golden lane where they get hit by the Bowser laser cannon, but I do like it overall. The final thing is the Koopa Banks. There's actually only 2 Koopa Banks, if I'm not wrong. There is 4 board events in this, so maybe more than Peach's Birthday Cake, but for the fact that there's only 95 spaces, I feel like that's very little. For the skill or luck base, I actually put this one mixed. I feel like either way, you can either hit one or the other. I couldn't decide on one. In certain ways, it's based off luck. The beginning is definitely based off luck, but once you get past that part, afterwards, more of it is like kind of skill and what direction you want to go. So it's kind of, to me, a mix of both. Overall, Spaceland is an alright map. It's better than Peach's Birthday Cake, but between the rest of the maps, it definitely is weaker. So I'm putting this one officially at number 4. Alrighty, coming in at number 3 is going to be Yoshi's Tropical Island. This is another Mario Party 1 map, and I will say this is definitely an upgrade compared to Peach's Birthday Cake. I do like Yoshi's Tropical Island a lot. Now, the first thing I really like about this map, I love the music. This is my favorite song between all the maps. The main basis of this map is basically this is the first map, this is the beginner map. They want you to start off with this map. The whole basis is there's 2 sides. There's the Watermelon Island and the Cantaloupe Island. And the whole point is to be on the one side that Toadette is on. The other side will have Bowser. Now, just like Peach's Birthday Cake, Bowser is on the map, but the difference with this one is the star movements are just one difference. It's either the left side or the right side, depending on what you get. This map is really important when it comes to event spaces. There's actually 7 event spaces, which is kind of high. The total amount of spaces is 55, which is once again low, but is normal for Mario Party 1 maps. The whole basis of this map is to be an island. I love the Yoshi theme about it. I think it's pretty cool when it comes to that. I love the fact that at any moment that Bowser and Toadette can change sides. I will say you definitely feel like you're going to go pretty slow on this map. This is a Mario Party 1 map, so just like Peach's Birthday Cake, you feel like you're barely moving. And that part I don't really like about it. The other thing too is one of the events, which is the Thwomp Toll. The Thwomp Toll, I get the whole purpose of the Thwomp Toll. My huge thing about it though is I feel like sometimes the Thwomp Toll is completely pointless because people will try to avoid paying the Thwomp Toll, so they'll pay as little as possible. The whole basis of it was to basically screw someone over so they can't get over. But normally when I play this, I don't see that really happening. Especially if you're on the left side, you kind of just get a warp block and get over pretty easily. Now going to the item shop. The item shop is kind of similar to Peach's Birthday Cake. Definitely different though. The main thing I see is for the first half, Mushroom, Cursed Ice Block, Double Dice, Warp Block, and Custom Dice. So it's just only those 5 items. The second half is the exact same, but there's a Golden Pipe. Now, in this map, I actually don't really like the Golden Pipe, and my reason to that is, once again, I think it ruins the Thwomp Toll. And the reason to that is if you just have a Golden Pipe, you can easily move from one side to the other just by buying it. Now, obviously, you have to be on the left side, but normally being on the left side is a lot better because you have the item shop and the Koopa gives you 10 coins at the beginning of the game. You kind of don't have much of a point to go on the right side unless if you're trying to get the star right away, which is completely fair if so. But I normally go on the left side because I just think, honestly, it's better. You just can get more items out of it and it's very easy. The item shop, there's only one item shop and it's on the left side. So if you're going to the item shop, you have to pick the left side. Now the right side, the main difference with that is there is a boo. The big thing about the boo, you can get stars out of it, you can steal stars out of it. It is kind of hard though because you do have to spend 20 coins or the Bowser right before it, so you might not have enough coins, but if you stack up a lot of coins, you will have enough to eventually get to it. It's basically similar ways of winning the game, which in some ways it can be really fun, but in other ways it can be really repetitive. So it has that middle of the road factor there. To me, this map feels between luck based and skilled. I put it personally skilled. My reason to it is There is luck when it comes to the event space, and I do agree with that, but you honestly can control the event space most of the time, and even when you hit the Bowser, you kind of could just get the coins back, so it's not really too much of a big deal when you're losing coins from Bowser on the right side. I mean, even if you lose coins from Bowser on the left side, you get your coins back, so the Bowser isn't even really much effective. It's just kind of if you get the star or not. So I put it as skilled. The board events, there's to me only 3 if you're not including obviously the 10 coins, since I didn't include that on Peach's birthday cake, which is the Boo, the Thwomp Hole, and Bowser and Toadette swapping sides. That's really it. So overall, a decent map. Not my favorite, even though music wise it is definitely by far my favorite. But overall, I think this is a middle of the road map. It's a decent map, not my favorite though. So for that, I'm putting this one and sticking it at number 3. Alright, now coming in at number 2 is gonna be Woody Woods. Now, I feel like between number 2 and number 1, I'm not gonna say what number 1 is yet, Woody Woods is the second hardest map. This map is, I think, a very fun map. Overall, the total amount of spaces is 91, a normal map for Mario Party 2 or 3 maps. This is the only Mario Party 3 map. I feel like this map is really unique, mainly for its arrows. The arrows, there's 3 different areas with arrows. Every single turn, the arrows will change direction, either right or left. So you don't get to pick which way you go, you have to pick the direction they pick. Now, the way to change this is the event spaces. Now, the event spaces, there's actually 9 event spaces. So for some of the event spaces, they only change the one. So the reason why you're seeing 9 event spaces is because 6 of them come from the 2 trees. 3 of them come from each arrow, so if you hit it, you can change that one specific arrow. There also is a multi-mole at the top. If you pay him coins, he'll change the direction for that turn. Now, you gotta remember that after that turn, it will turn back around. Now, going back to the trees are actually very unique. I do really like the trees a lot. There is the green and brown tree, which is just the typical tree, the happy tree. And then you have the sad tree, which is the more black and purple tree. Now, the happy tree, well, there will be 3 spots you can hit to hit the tree. The whole purpose of this is you get to pick a fruit, which is an apple basically, and you either get coins or you can roll again. Sometimes rolling again is really good because you want to be closer to something, and sometimes getting coins is really smart. So it's kind of like you want to pick smart, pick what you want to do, but you take the risk of taking one over the other, which I do like a lot. The other thing about this is the sad tree or the more depressed tree. It's the same thing basically, but it's reverse. So for the dice, you get to go backwards, and the coins are, you'll just lose coins. Now, personally, I don't like this tree as much, not because it's negative. My reason is I feel like the dice is much easier to pick, and the reason of that is when you go back, they kind of line it up with item spaces, so you're kind of benefiting from the tree. Now, you do go backwards and you can hit it like 3 or 4 times again, and in that way it's kind of difficult, but you're really only going to pick the losing coins if you have a lot of coins and you're trying to get to a star up there or something faster. So in that sense, the tree is kind of weird. I'm not a huge fan of it. The positive tree is definitely, I think, more preferred. Now, with the item shop, there's actually a lot of item shops on this board. There's 2 normal item shops, which these normal item shops hold for the first half: skeleton key, curse dice, double dice, warp block, triple dice, and custom dice block. Pretty typical for the more advanced boards. In the second half, it is skeleton key, double dice, warp block, triple dice, custom dice, and golden pipe. Now, I will say with the golden pipe on this map, I think this map is the absolute worst with the golden pipe. Now, my reason to it is there's 3 maps that pick the golden pipe. This is the only map that has 2 item spaces with golden pipes. My problem with it is this map kind of turns into a golden pipe matchup. And I feel like in some senses, it kind of ruins the whole basis of this map, because the whole basis of this map is the luck of the draw, hitting the arrows, sometimes having items hopefully getting enough to get past that arrow, or maybe just not having enough to reach the arrow so it can turn in time. With the golden pipe, I feel like it kind of ruins this, And I feel like personally, this is my number one issue with this map, is the golden pipe issue. I just feel like there's too many golden pipes, and it kind of just ruins the map itself, which I don't like. I like the luck of the draw of this map. It's very, you never know what you're gonna get. So for golden pipes, I don't enjoy it in that sense. Now, there is a third item shop, and this is called the Forest Shop. In this Forest Shop, the first half is the Mushroom Chomp Claw and Plunder Chest, and the second half is the Mushroom Chomp Claw, Plunder Chest, and Hidden Block card. I do kind of like this little shop here because it's not a full-on shop, but it's a shop that can bring some strategy to it. Mainly the Plunder Chest. There's a lot of things with this map. Now, if we go over it, there's actually, for the board events, there's actually 6 board events. We have the trees, we have the Koopa Bank once again, there is 3 Koopa Banks. We also have the arrows. Obviously, that's the main part of this map. Once again, I really like that part of the map. It's definitely the main theme of the map, and I do think it's really cool. We also have the multi-mole switching arrows, and finally the Forest Shop. I do really like the Forest Shop a lot. I think it adds more oomph to the game, so I do like that in that sense. Overall, the skill or luck base of this map is definitely luck based, and the main reason is the arrows. The arrows make it much more luck based. Now, technically, you can have this game be skill based by just getting a bunch of golden pipes. Otherwise, if you're not, besides the golden pipes, everything in this map is just luck. You kind of need the luck to be on your side in order to do well on this map. Yes, this map is really good. However, I don't feel like this is the best map. It is definitely a great second place map, and I do think out of all the Mario Party 3 maps, this is definitely one of the better choices they could have picked. So I do like the selection of this. But overall, I am going to keep this at number 2. Alrighty, and number 1 is going to be Horrorland. Now, if you're my friends, you probably know that this is my number 1 favorite map. Horrorland definitely is the best map in my opinion. I feel like for Mario Party 2, they did pick Spaceland. Not a big fan of Spaceland. This is a much better map in my opinion. Normally people argue between this and Woody Woods, but I give the edge over Horrorland, and I'll explain why. There's definitely a lot of reasons why I really like this map a lot. For the total amount of spaces of Horrorland, there's actually 93. That's on average with the Mario Party 2 and 3 maps itself. My thing I love a lot about Horrorland itself is the day and night feature of this map. The day and night feature is the main factor, and it would eventually be brought to another Mario Party game. But in Mario Party 2, this was originally what it was. It was 2 turns day, 2 turns night. You really have to plan out when you're going to do certain things on this map, because there's a lot of board events happening on this map. What I like about it is it just kind of affects nearly everything on this map. You only can do certain things during the day and certain things during the night, and it's about equal too. So you don't really feel effective like you would rather it be day or rather it be night, but you definitely feel the effects. Now for event spaces, there's actually 7 event spaces. These event spaces change it from day to night or night to day, depending on which one it is. There's a lot of effects that come into the day and night. We'll go over that. First off, we're going over the item shop. Now, the item shop, there's actually 3 item shops. There's a lot of item shops in this map. The first half includes the Skeleton Key, the Mushroom, Curse Dice, Double Dice, and Chomp Claw. And in the second half, the Skeleton Key, Double Dice, Triple Dice, Warp Block, Chomp Claw, and Custom Dice. One of the things I love about this map a lot is there's no golden pipes. The only way to get golden pipes is playing an event and getting incredibly lucky, but otherwise there's no golden pipes. You can't buy from the shop, which I really like in this map because there's a lot of item shops in this map, and there's a lot of things going on in this map. So if there was golden pipes, I feel like it would really taint the map itself. So I'm glad I didn't add it there. But the item shop itself is pretty decent on its own. There's a lot of them, so you really don't miss out on items. There's item spaces all around. Not as frequent as Woody Woods, but there is item spaces, there's plenty of item shops, and there's plenty of things going on. So you're not going to miss an item. You're going to get an item here and there. Now, a lot of things come into this map. I'd say there's actually 8 board events that happen. I put 7, but that's just because I didn't include the day and night. But I want to include the day and night now, so there's 8 officially, but I'm going to go over the other 7. Now, going over the daytime events, these include the Whomp. The Whomps only can move, and you can only make them move a certain direction when it's daytime. It's basically like the Thwomp where you have to pay a toll, but basically they just move a different direction. Normally, I don't see the Whomp being used though. I do feel like it's one of the weaker parts about this map. Normally, there's not much of a purpose to buy the Whomp, plus when it's nighttime, you can't move them at all, so they're basically stuck the entire time. Not a huge fan of these Whomps, but I do understand the factor of them, so in ways, I can see the purpose, but not the best feature. Next up is the Boo. Now, there's actually a lot of Boos on this map, but the main one will be at the bottom left using a skeleton key. That will be a daytime Boo. We're only going to go over that one right now. It's a normal Boo. You just either steal a star or steal coins. That requires it to be day though. Next up is the Kamek's house. The whole purpose of this on the top left is just to turn it to nighttime. That's the only purpose of it. There's not much more to it. And yeah, that's all the daytime effects. Now, the nighttime, we have the party place, which in my opinion, I actually never see anyone use this, and I do feel like it's one of the weaker parts about this map. I think the placement of the party place was really bad, if I say so myself. I've actually never ran into it personally, but the whole purpose of it is it just turns it to day, and you kind of can see one of your favorite characters, who depend on who you're using, dancing. It's kind of cool. But the next thing we are going to go over are, once again, the Boos. Now, there's actually 3 Boos on this map. One is by the skeleton key, and then there's actually 2 by the Whomp on the left side. Now, if you do pick this Whomp and move it to get to the 2 Boos, you are also making the Whomp move. So that means everyone can go by this Whomp and get all these Boos. It does become a strategy of whether you use it or not. It's really hard to get it without also having people get into it. You kind of have to strategize correctly. You're only really using the situation on certain spots, but it's kind of weird. It's at nighttime. I do kind of have an issue with this. Now, I get it. We need to equal things out to make it day and night, but I did find it really confusing because one Boo is during the day and then the other 2 are at night. You really don't understand that until you realize. I did find that confusing. I'm not a big fan, but I do get these Boos. It can be strategic at points. One of the really cool parts about this map though at night is the King Boo. This is where the other skeleton key gets used. The point of the King Boo, it works like a Boo, but the difference is if you steal coins, you are stealing everyone's coins instead of one specific person that you pick, and you actually can steal 3 stars, 1 from each person. The problem with this though is it costs 150 coins, and you really have to strategize specifically for that in order for it to work. There's many things to go to it. First off, you need 150 coins. Second, you need a skeleton key. And third, it has to be nighttime when you land on it. So it's really hard to get all 3 at once. I don't really ever see these be taken, but it's a really smart strategy if you're in a desperate situation and need stars. So I really love the King Boo in this place. Now, there's also 2 spots that don't matter with the day and night. The first one is the Koopa Bank. I mean, that one's pretty obvious itself. There's 3 Koopa Banks, pretty normal to all the other ones. And the other thing is Mr. I. Now, the Mr. I is one of the coolest parts about this map. What I really love about Mr. I is he can transport you from the bottom right of the map to the top left. And why that becomes really strategic is because if there's a star at the top left, you can just basically take the eye from one direction to the other. It also runs over anyone that gets in the way of its path. It just basically pushes them also over there, so it could become a plus or a minus. I never really see anyone get run over though. It's kind of hard. The final thing about this is whether it is more skilled or luck-based. Personally, I find this map to be more skilled because you kind of run into everything and everything you need. The whole purpose of this map, honestly, is just basically pick a plan, pick what you want to do. Some people go for the Boo that's daytime on the bottom left. Some people work really hard to get to the King Boo. I mean, some people just go for the stars itself and just use items. There's a lot of strategy that comes into this, and it can depend on what your luck is. Overall, Heartland, really cool theming. Really cool day and night feature, a lot of board events. I do love the board events. It's not tarnished by the items don't ruin the map. You can get a golden pipe, but you are not automatically just getting golden pipes and spamming them. So overall, I'm giving this one number 1 because I feel like it is the map that to me uses the map's purposes the most, and it is the most fun. So I give this one overall number 1. And yes, guys, that is going to do it. That ranks every single Mario Party board from Mario Party Superstars. Now, everybody's not going to agree. We're going to have some disagreements. Mainly, I would say Woody Woods and Horrorland. I feel like those two are really, really good on its own. But I will say I think my list is pretty good. It's been a bit of a mix. I mean, there's some that are far off compared to others. But I'd say all the maps overall were pretty decent. I do wish that Mario Party Superstars did add more maps. I feel like 5 was very little. But I do like the mix of maps we got. A good mix of the early games, especially the newer ones. Yes, there is some good newer Mario Party maps, but I see why they did the original, so it makes sense to me. Anyways, guys, that is going to end it here, guys. I know it was a long video, a lot of statistics in it, a lot of things I went over. I just want it all into detail. Maybe I missed a thing or two, but I do want to hear your opinions, guys. You know, let me know down in the comments below. I would really like to see that. And once again, guys, if you haven't already, I would appreciate it if you did subscribe, help the channel out, and you'll see more videos. Alright, so get ready, because this is not over. We're going to have more videos like this. I do enjoy doing these videos a lot, and I want to bring out more. So yeah, guys, that is it today. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and goodbye.